Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Liv's Thoughts. Today, we're going to be talking about feeling lost in life. I want to talk about a lyric of a song that I very much relate to right now. The Taylor Swift and Phoebe Bridgers song, I don't know why I can't think of it right now, but the lyrics, how can you know everything at 18 and nothing at 22? I thought that as you age and your frontal lobe starts to develop and you're figuring things out and you're understanding how to conceptualize things better, things would get easier, but it just makes things harder. It makes things very difficult to be able to, I think we've talked about this before, I think as you age, you just become a more complex version of yourself, but you don't have to become that. You can choose to become that if you would like, but you don't have to. You can choose to forget about things. You can choose to not care about certain things. You can choose to not dive deeper into things. But you also can choose to do that. But with doing that, also allows you to feel so many more intense emotions and feelings towards yourself and kind of guilt and shame. And guilt and shame is a very heavy thing that I've been feeling recently. That is very uncomfortable, but I know I need to work through this, these little issues that I have and things that I've been doing in my life that I don't agree with. It's really weird because I feel like recently I have been not necessarily acting out, because I don't want to call it that, but I've been making decisions that the next day I'm like, why did I do, I wish I didn't do that. I don't know, that didn't align with my values, that didn't align with my beliefs. I don't understand why I made that decision. I feel weird about myself. I feel weird about the way I acted. I feel weird about the way I was talking. So many things go into this, but I've been feeling a very heavy sense of guilt and shame recently, and it's been making me feel very lost in life. And I was talking to my sister today, and she kind of helped calm me down a little bit, because being the youngest of 5 siblings is really nice, because I have a lot of older siblings to look up to who have already experienced this a repeated amount of times. Everyone makes mistakes and deals with these kind of highs and lows of life. And I was just kind of thinking about where my life was when I was 20. I was managing a gym in Los Angeles. I had clients. I was making good money. I was really enjoying life. I wasn't drinking. I was not really smoking very much. I was doing I was doing very well in life. At age 20 and 21, I was doing pretty good. And then I moved to Texas, and I feel like I've taken a step back and I've regressed my progress in life. But because I feel this way, it's kind of I don't want to call it a victim complex necessarily, but I do feel myself sometimes slipping into this victim mentality of, I just want someone to do it for me sort of thing. No one's coming to save you is the realest thing that I'm starting to kind of understand and conceptualize in my brain. And if you're younger than me, I'm 22, and if you're younger than me, I don't know if you'll understand this, but if you're older than me, maybe you will. And I think that this is my frontal lobe really developing. But there's been a lot of things recently that have been coming to the forefront of my brain that I've heard my hair tie just broke. I've heard often, but I haven't been able to fully conceptualize what that actually means in my brain until recently. And this, no one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself, and you need to do the work yourself, has been something that I'm able to visualize so much better and kind of articulate my feelings towards it so much clearer now, because I can fully see it. When I literally say I can see it right here, I can see it in the front of my brain. It's so weird. The frontal lobe developing is such a weird thing, and it feels really weird to understand. And my whole life, I've dealt with challenging shit. I've really dealt with a lot of challenging stuff in my life, and I've worked through a lot of things, but I've never taken time to be because I worked through those hard things, I thought I deserved a cookie and a treat. Not really. You just become a better person and you move through your life and you're going to go through hard shit again. Like, that's what life is. Like, life is not about you going through one hard thing and then getting something in return for going through that hard thing. It's like you go through a hard thing to figure out a lesson just to apply it later in life in a different situation. And that has been really just kind of jarring to me, because my whole life with the way that I work through things has always been, you did a good job, or like, you got through this, here's affirmation, or like positive affirmation, or here's something monetary, or here's like, I've always rewarded myself for picking myself up from these hard things instead of taking these lessons and really conceptualizing them in my brain. Like, it's a very weird thing, and I don't know if that really made sense, but it's been a weird struggle for me. But my sister made a good point too, because she's going back to grad school right now, and she was working as a social worker, like had a job, was office job for 3 years, and then quit, is nannying now, and is in school again. She's like, I feel like I've regressed, like not regressed, but like I feel like I've gone backwards in my life, but not really, because I'm going to get a better education and learn new things, and so I can further my career. And sometimes you got to take that step back to be able to make the leap forward and be able to do what you want to do. And I realized this, like with myself, I'm going back to school in September. I really thought I was falling behind because I'm not working in a gym anymore. I'm not doing what I said I was going to do, and my job is just kind of like all over the place, and it's been really difficult to find stability in so much uncertainty. And it's really difficult to find stability when you don't take those lessons that you're learning and really take time to conceptualize them and understand what they mean. Because if you just are hearing the lesson but you're not applying it, you're just in one ear out the other. But when you're taking time to process it and close your ears and not let it seep out, sometimes it really does help you work through things. And the guilt and shame that I feel now, I know will go away. And this feeling of, I need to take my hands on my ears, sorry. I know the feeling of like feeling lost will go away eventually, and I will see and understand why I'm dealing with the shit I'm dealing with right now and going through this shit for, in my head, no reason, but there is a reason behind this. I know that the path will clear, the light will shine through, and I will see why I took the long way in the complex way. But yeah, it's just been a really weird time of conceptualizing my guilt and shame in a very visual way in my brain, and also this idea that I want to change, I have to be the one to do it. And I know I have to be the one to do it, but I just didn't understand why I had to be the one to do it, why someone else couldn't come and provide me with so much like stability. And I think that I like some people that aren't necessarily in my life as much anymore, that were really close with me, gave me so much structure, and not having that in my life anymore has made me feel really lost and like I'm not making the right decisions. And so with that uncertainty, it leads to worse decisions, because I just kind of follow my desires rather than like my expectations of myself. It's been a really weird past 2 months that I want to be over. Like I want this time of my life to be hurry up and get it done with, because not that I want to have it figured out, and I know it's about the journey and the path, and the understanding of like the path is the importance of life. But it's also just like the path gets a little rocky and hard sometimes to walk through. Feels like I'm drudging through mud right now. But again, I know there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I know that this is a temporary feeling that I can't dwell in for too long, because there's no point. There's literally no point in doing that. But yeah, I hope this resonated with someone, because it's just such a weird time of uncertainty, and I feel like with uncertainty you make stupider decisions because you don't know what you want. And I know I'll figure out what I want. I need the structure and guidance to be able to figure that out. And I know that comes with just time thinking about it. So yeah, that's just kind of how I'm feeling right now. But peace, love, and happiness, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.